Men actually come to nuclear radiation disaster areas to become stronger. And he even closed the anti-radiation layer, letting nuclear radiation invade his body. Just now, Chen Yu consumed a wave, and after putting on the radiation protective suit, he arrived at time gate 341B. Looking at the teleporter where injured personnel kept coming out, Chen Yu couldn't help but mutter, "I didn't expect this high martial world to have such advanced technology." Rumors say that the deadly Azure City 341B space-time portal has caused a sharp decrease in the number of martial artists exploring and seeking treasures due to its extreme danger. Those who still dare to visit are considered ruthless individuals who fear nothing. The space-time portal contains extremely strong radiation, making it a one-way trip with no return. With such a high casualty rate, there must be some incredible treasures inside to attract people to come. It's truly madness. Immediately, Chen Yu's expression changed and muttered to himself, "I hope I won't become one of those injured." At that moment, a researcher beside him suddenly approached Chen Yu and explained to him how to use the protective suit. First, please twist the radiation protection activation key on your chest. This will activate the radiation protection layer. Next, you can freely move within the space-time portal. After that, Chen Yu didn't waste any more time and walked directly towards the teleportation gate. Upon entering the space-time portal 341B, Chen Yu couldn't help but feel like he was inside a space base from a movie. The next moment, Chen Yu suddenly felt a tingling sensation spreading through his body. Suddenly, his legs went weak. At this moment, Chen Yu felt a strong tearing sensation in his body and felt dizzy. It was as if his blood was burning throughout his body. When Chen Yu just entered the door, he collapsed on the ground. Little Gaga beside him couldn't help but sarcastically say, "Is this little brother okay?" Another inexperienced young person, forcing chi like this when so weak, shouldn't casually enter the temporal gate. However, the next second, Chen Yu suddenly recovered and quickly stood up, causing all the little Gagas to explode in place. "Are you a fool, you little devil? Stop playing tricks on people, you jerk." At this moment, the system kept sounding various prompts of attribute increases. Just staying at the door for a short while, he had already become much stronger. Chen Yu immediately walked inside with a big smile on his face, secretly feeling happy. Sure enough, the curse reversed the strong radiation into a boost, providing an indescribably refreshing sensation. After venturing deeper into the rarely visited area, Chen Yu couldn't help but mutter to himself, according to public information, as one progresses further inside, the radiation will gradually increase to the point where basically no martial artist dares to proceed. The range of the treasure hunting expedition is therefore limited to the vicinity of the entrance to the time gate. The further Chen Yu walked in, the more he could feel the strong radiation source. Currently, his martial artist level is not high, and he doesn't know if his body can withstand such strong radiation without damage. However, this thought was quickly dismissed by Chen Yu. He felt that even if there was harm, the subsequent benefits would be considerable. With this in mind, Chen Yu's footsteps couldn't help but quicken a bit. He just rushed towards the radiation source like this. He must make some progress in his cultivation today. Arriving at the unmanned gate, Chen Yu couldn't help but mutter to himself. Not a single person could be seen nearby. Hopefully no one will discover this. Next, Chen Yu directly entered it. Looking at the empty space with no one in sight, Chen Yu immediately decided to showcase his skills in this room. Chen Yu, with a nervous heart, then decided to turn off the radiation shield directly. The next moment, Chen Yu felt that terrifying feeling beginning to engulf him completely. Intense radiation came into direct and intimate contact with the body. Although pain and gain were happening simultaneously to Chen Yu, he also felt that he was clearly undergoing evolution at this moment. After enjoying 3 hours of radiation, Chen Yu's face was full of enjoyment as he exclaimed, "This is simply too cool. What kind of radiation is this?" At this time, his overall attributes had been greatly amplified. The radiation that ordinary people would find terrifying turned out to be a great tonic for him. Chen Yu feels like he is currently being massaged by a group of masseurs, relaxing his tendons, promoting circulation, detoxifying, and beautifying. Then Chen Yu is ready to head back home after practicing for most of the day. Besides strengthening his force chi, his vitality, health, immunity, strength, and even skin resilience have all greatly increased. However, just as Chen Yu was on his way back home, he suddenly saw a man and a woman not far away engaged in a struggle. The two of them were evenly matched in the fight, exchanging blows back and forth. After a brief exchange as a test, both sides immediately distanced themselves. The blonde man couldn't help but express surprise, saying, "Hey little girl, not bad skills you've got there." As a young girl who appears underage, 8 Desolation Yao, the heiress of the 8 Desolations family, has a stern expression on her face as she coldly asks, "Who are you people exactly?" The man with the golden hair disdainfully chuckles and says, "That's not important. What's important is that you are the heiress of the 8 Desolations family. That's all that matters." Right after that, the man with the golden hair loudly shouts, "Quickly take down this smelly girl and sell her to the Equity Council for a good price." The intellectually challenged little Gaga, however, launches an attack while smugly saying, "Let me show you the terror of our Louis group." The next moment, 8 Desolation Yao directly kicks the green-haired man, while coldly saying, "Louis group, huh? I'll remember that." Seeing that 8 Desolation Yao's combat power is so remarkable, the golden-haired man immediately starts gathering force chi and says, "Let's cast a martial spell together, attack." But before the two could cast their martial spell, 8 Desolation Yao quickly rushed out from the side and instantly took down one person with an elbow strike. At this time, the man with golden hair had already used the martial skill Crimson Hand. The Crimson Force Chi condensed in his hand. He attacked the vulnerable 8 Desolation Yao. Just as the golden-haired man thought he had succeeded, the figure of the 8 Desolation Yao suddenly transformed into a cluster of fluorescent butterflies, instantly dispersing in the original spot. Before the golden-haired man could figure out what was going on, the figure of the 8 Desolation Yao arrived above his head, and with the martial skill flashing butterfly, it fiercely kicked down. The golden-haired man was caught off guard and directly hit in the back. In an instant he was blasted away, spitting tomato sauce from his mouth. After the golden-haired man struggled to get up, his face was full of disbelief as he couldn't help but say, "If I hadn't experienced it personally, it would be hard to imagine the abilities of this woman." Just as 8 Desolation Yao was about to interrogate the golden-haired man, her expression suddenly changed. Immediately after, 8 Desolation Yao was suddenly invaded by radiation and collapsed on the ground. The golden-haired man burst into laughter. "I think I remember now. It seems to be the hidden weapon attacking you that tore through your radiation suit. What luck! Do you know why your radiation suit was torn, miss? Before you entered the space-time gate, we had already tampered with your radiation suit. Just give it a strong attack and the suit will quickly be damaged. Without the protection of the radiation layer, even the 8 Desolations family's daughter is just a little sheep." Immediately, the golden-haired man climbed excitedly towards 8 Desolation Yao and exclaimed with a smile, "Such a figure truly lives up to the 8 Desolations family's daughter. Before selling you at a high price to the Equity Council, let me enjoy myself first." However, just as the golden-haired man was about to succeed, a large hand suddenly reached out from the side and firmly grabbed him. Just as 8 Desolation Yao was about to faint, she vaguely heard a man's voice shouting, "Stop it, give me a break. She is still a delicate girl like a flower." Vaguely, at the last moment before losing consciousness, 8 Desolation Yao seemed to see a tall man standing in front of her, protecting her. The man only possessed a Force Chi cultivation level of Tier 0.3. He actually dared to blindly provoke and challenge a Tier 2 martial artist to attack him. Just now, the golden-haired man was about to take down the 8 Desolation Yao. But the meddlesome Chen Yu suddenly appeared and stopped him. After stopping the blonde man, Chen Yu suddenly spoke, "As a martial artist, you should refrain from lust." The infuriated blonde man simply ignored Chen Yu. He casually waved his hand and sent him flying in an instant. Immediately, Chen Yu's brow furrowed. "Good gracious, trying to attack by surprise, huh? Then I'll take my leave first. We'll settle the score another day." As soon as the words fell off, Chen Yu suddenly leaped forward and fiercely kicked his right leg towards the man with golden hair. But the man with golden hair raised his hand and punched Chen Yu in the face, interrupting his attack and at the same time boosting his vitality by over 400 points. Seeing Chen Yu so weak, the man with golden hair couldn't help but laugh. "As a Tier 2 martial artist like me, even facing the daughter of the 8 Desolations family is a challenge. Dealing with a weakling like you with such feeble force chi is not even worth mentioning." The stubborn Chen Yu, however, was not willing to give up. He got up and delivered a left side kick towards the man with golden hair. However, due to Chen Yu's low force chi level, he was once again punched and sent flying. Immediately, he received over 700 points of health boost. However, Chen Yu can actually gain benefits while being injured. He is far from being weak and bravely gets up again to continue fighting. However, there is a significant gap in the level of martial artist. Chen Yu can only endure beatings and continuously increase his health points. After beating Chen Yu for a while, the golden-haired man couldn't help but start panting heavily. It's really strange. Clearly, each attack is hitting the mark, so how can he still stand up? The golden-haired man, feeling a bit impatient, immediately called over the other two lackeys. They used the martial spell Deep Bewilderment together, preparing to take care of Chen Yu. In the blink of an eye, 3 black force chi surged out simultaneously from the hands of the 3 individuals. Bursting out, it headed straight towards the bewildered Chen Yu's face. Chen Yu was immediately invaded by the energy. Immediately, a burst of sound like a pig being slaughtered erupted. However, at that moment, the system suddenly kept sounding alerts for gaining temporary boosts due to being cursed and weakened. Immediately, Chen Yu felt a tingling sensation all over his body. He couldn't help but sigh and think to himself, "This feels damn good." At the same time, the golden-haired man suddenly roared triumphantly. "Once you are hit by this deep bewilderment weak martial spell, your body will feel doubly heavy, your organs weaken, and your force chi will become turbid. How about it? Are you starting to black out?" Chen Yu was already immersed in the temporary exhilaration of the power boost. He couldn't help but secretly admire the golden-haired man as a truly generous person. Absolutely cannot let them stop. Chen Yu immediately raised the international friendly gesture to the 3 people and mocked, "Is this all you've got? I can take a few more hits easily." When this was said, the 3 people were immediately angered. "You annoying bug. I'll take you down. Give me another round of deep bewilderment right away." Chen Yu once again gritted his teeth and faced deep bewilderment head-on with his body. While enjoying the temporary gains, he once again taunted arrogantly, "Too weak, not enough." When they saw Chen Yu acting so provocatively, the golden-haired man and others immediately became furious. Without hesitation, the 3 of them unleashed the deep bewilderment technique once again, shouting, "Bring it on!" They exerted all their force chi to the maximum. Chen Yu immediately let out waves of mournful cries once again. The various attributes of the body immediately received a large temporary increase. Then the 3 people continuously cast martial spell on Chen Yu, who soon couldn't bear it anymore and was so numb that he couldn't stand up at all. Seeing this scene, the golden-haired man immediately walked up to Chen Yu and coldly said, "Stinky insect, you finally willing to fall down, huh?" Following that, the golden-haired man began to activate his martial skill and at the same time snarled fiercely, "I will twist your head off and use it as a basketball right now. I can brag about this for 2.5 years." As soon as the words fell, Chen Yu suddenly stood up and raised his hand towards him. It was a devastating punch, aiming to end the opponent's bloodline. It directly hit the most vulnerable spot of the man with golden hair. In the moment when intense pain surged out, the man with golden hair immediately fainted on the spot. The other 2 little gagas panicked immediately upon seeing this. Chen Yu, who had been abused for so long, immediately started to fight back ferociously. He directly knocked down the golden retriever with one punch. Next, Chen Yu leaped up suddenly. A right whip kick directly knocked down the green-haired man. A left front kick knocked out the last little gaga. After easily taking out 3 people, Chen Yu couldn't help but clap his hands and say, "No challenge at all." They were on the ground in just 2 or 3 moves. Later, Chen Yu began to search the 3 men for belongings, but to his surprise, the golden-haired man who was a Tier 2 martial artist only had a pitiful 4,000 yuan and a card. Seeing that 8 Desolation Yao was about to collapse, Chen Yu hurriedly picked her up and walked out, saying helplessly, "It's really troublesome. I still have to take you back." The man took a shower after being exposed to nuclear radiation and prepared to leave. But he was unexpectedly asked by the medical staff to take off his pants for examination. Just now, Chen Yu heroically rescued 8 Desolation Yao and took him away. Seeing that 8 Desolation Yao is unconscious and won't wake up, the medical staff at the door immediately panicked. "She is the eldest daughter of the 8 Desolations family. Quickly contact a doctor." Watching as 8 Desolation Yao Chen Yu was taken away by the medical staff, he couldn't help but mutter in his heart, "I have done my duty. The rest is up to you. Now it's time for me to focus on my own matters." Chen Yu quickly returned to the depths of the radiation zone, then took off his protective suit directly while exclaiming, "Bathing in stronger radiation, cultivating to become a stronger martial artist. In the future, I will definitely be stronger than you." Suddenly, the system popped up a series of enhancements in physical attributes. Chen Yu's physical strength once again surged. Listening to the constant reminder sounds, Chen Yu was ecstatic. If he continues to grow like this, he will become strong and muscular. What use is this force chi? Chen Yu looked at the fist wind generated by his casual punch, and couldn't help but exclaim in astonishment. This powerful fist wind is truly the saying of one force can overpower 10 strengths. Great strength creates miracles. However, at this moment, Chen Yu found that his nose suddenly started bleeding. He was stunned and wondered, "What's going on? Why am I having a nosebleed?" At the same time, the gains of the system changed from 3 digits to single digits. Chen Yu couldn't help but speculate secretly when he saw this scene. The decrease in numerical gains, can it be that the body has exceeded its limit? This is just like a person falling into lava. No matter how much health is increased, it can't change the fact that he is melting, right? Could it be that after my body was strengthened, I resisted some of the radiation damage? Thinking about this, Chen Yu quickly put on the protective suit and ran towards the entrance. It's really dangerous. I can't be careless anymore. I have to leave this secret place first. I need to go to the decontamination room to clean up the radiation first. Soon, Chen Yu arrived at the radiation decontamination room. The girl with purple hair, upon seeing Chen Yu, immediately smiled and said, "Please take off your clothes and put them here. We need to check and remove the radiation from your body to prevent further harm." Upon hearing this, Chen Yu immediately started efficiently taking off the protective suit, revealing his perfectly toned muscles that had been strengthened. Seeing Chen Yu's explosive figure, the purple-haired woman couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. It was very ergonomic, resembling a perfectly sculpted physique. Immediately, the purple-haired woman spoke to Chen Yu again. "Sir, this is a full-body checkup. Please take off your pants." When this was said, Chen Yu was immediately shocked. Did he really have to undress completely in the decontamination room to remove the radiation? He quickly refused, saying, "No way. I heard everything you just said." Soon after, 3 medical personnel surrounded him. They kept feeling Chen Yu's perfect muscles. The girl with purple hair even took the initiative to offer to help Chen Yu make up classes for free. But Chen Yu turned away gracefully and declined the tempting offer. After leaving the radiation decontamination room, Chen Yu couldn't help but regret silently. There are many opportunities to test the impact of radiation on abilities, but romantic encounters only come once. Just then, Chen Yu, who accidentally walked to the door of the martial artist test room, was suddenly stopped by the voice of the little Gaga behind him. After recognizing Chen Yu, Gaga suddenly said disdainfully, "I think I've seen this person before. I heard he's possibly the first person ever to be expelled just before the college entrance examination." Immediately, the two of them burst into uncontrollable laughter, and it's also the lowest score in history. No one can break this record. Ha ha. But Chen Yu suddenly politely shook hands with the two of them and said, "Senior, I have learned my lesson. I am not strong enough, and I was just about to seek advice from the two of you." Later, the two of them took Chen Yu into the martial artist training room and volunteered to teach Chen Yu how to use the equipment. Next, the man with golden hair suddenly struck the testing instrument with a punch, and the instrument immediately displayed a value of martial artist level tier 0.2. The little Gaga on the side suddenly smirked and said, "Let's make a bet. I bet that your strength doesn't exceed tier 0.2 martial artist. The loser will run 3 laps naked right here. What do you think?" Chen Yu laughed as soon as he heard this and immediately agreed. Immediately after that, Chen Yu lightly punched out, and the machine displayed tier 0.3 force chi. Both of them were stunned to see it. Immediately, the man with the golden hair picked up the testing panel and said incredulously, "The machine must be broken. I will personally bring the tester. You hit this." Seeing the golden-haired man actively seeking death, Chen Yu immediately began to gather force chi and smirked. "So senior, you need to be careful." The next second, Chen Yu fiercely threw a heavy punch, directly smashed the golden-haired man into the wall. And on the side, little Gagaga was dumbfounded when he saw the detector displaying a force chi result of tier 0.6. Just then, Chen Yu suddenly turned around, grinned at him and said, "It's your turn, senior. Let's measure your strength this time." As soon as the words fell, Chen Yu stomped his foot and punched again. Even if he doesn't use force chi, he relies solely on the power of his physical body. His current power level has soared to an unbelievable level. The next moment, 2 little minions were skillfully stripped naked and bound together by Chen Yu, exposing them to everyone's gaze. It's explosive news. The handsome man's beautiful sister is actually getting engaged to the bald big guy. Just now, after being baptized by radiation, Chen Yu casually threw a punch and achieved a force chi value of 0.6 in tier 0. There is only 1 month left until the college entrance examination. Chen Yu believes that with this progress, getting into Capital University will not be a problem. The thought of the agreement with Xingbai came to mind. He immediately secretly looked forward to the scene where Xingbai would help him lick his shoes. Thinking of this, Chen Yu couldn't help but climb up the window excitedly, ready to return to the store. But in a second, Chen Yu suddenly froze on the spot. Sister Chi was yawning as she just got up from bed, while Chen Yu muttered in confusion, Did I walk into the wrong room? Shortly after, Chen Yu hurriedly left, shouting without looking back. I will go downstairs to open the shop first. As usual, Sister Chi left directly after going downstairs, saying she was going to find a school for Chen Yu. Chen Yu quickly saw this and sent her off respectfully, saying, "Thank you for your hard work. Take care." He then opened the drawer and put the thousands of dollars he had earned into it. Then he proficiently picked up the camel from the shelf and muttered, "Feeling the $4,000, I can buy 4 packs to challenge my limit." The next moment, Chen Yu directly opened a whole pack and lit it all at once. Then he found a horn and stuffed the mouthpiece full with Camel cigarettes before taking a big drag. The system immediately started to sound continuously, giving prompts about the increase in attributes from being invaded by the malignant toxic fumes. At the same time, within Louis Group, the golden-haired man was kneeling on the ground in a panic, explaining, "Boss, the plan to kidnap the young lady of the 8 Desolations family has failed. Someone has rescued her." But the man directly pulled out a weapon and knocked down the golden-haired man, saying coldly, "Useless. Find out who did it. I want them to suffer a fate worse than death." And after watching for a while, Chen Yu, who was sleeping soundly in the shop, but he was suddenly awakened by a phone call. After answering the phone, his mother quickly told him the news that Chen Siwen was getting engaged. Upon hearing this news, Chen Yu could no longer sit still. He immediately hurriedly closed the shop and rushed home. When Chen's mother saw the bald man brought back by Chen Siwen, he was immediately confused. Just then, the door suddenly burst open and Chen Yu's voice came out. "I don't agree to this marriage." Immediately after, Chen Yu sneered and said, "After all, I watched my sister grow up since she was born and took care of her through everything. I should be able to ask some questions about her future brother-in-law, right?" Next, Chen Yu adopted an interrogative posture and said, "Relax, I'm just asking casually. First, tell me about your basic background." Wang Xiao, with a calm expression on his face, replied, "My name is Wang Xiao, 34 years old. I am your sister's boss's son. I own a villa, several apartments, and many cars. I have enough savings to support your sister for a lifetime." Upon hearing this, Chen Yu couldn't help but furrow his brow and asked, "What do you like about my sister?" Hearing this, Wang Xiao couldn't hold back anymore. With a big personality and a round figure, he chuckled. At that moment, Chen Yu's face darkened as he spoke. "Is that all?" Seeing this, Wang Xiao quickly smiled awkwardly and added, "And your sister's gentleness." Immediately after that, Chen Yu patted Wang Xiao on the shoulder and said, "It's a pity, I can't agree to this marriage." As soon as the words fell, Chen Siwen immediately pulled on his ear and headed towards the room. Upon arriving in the room, Chen Siwen immediately asked in a displeased tone, "Chen Yu, what exactly do you want?" While Chen Yu raised an eyebrow and questioned, "Are you engaged to him because you like him, or because you want to play the overly devoted sister role, and have him buy chi-enhancing pills for me?" Seeing Chen Yu through her own intentions, Chen Siwen couldn't help muttering, "You don't understand, the life of ordinary people is too hard. Some unspoken exchanges are more important than so-called feelings. There are only a few days left before the college entrance examination. You need money, the family needs it, and I need it too." After listening to Chen Siwen's explanation, Chen Yu suddenly pushed the door open and said, "Brother-in-law, I agree to the marriage between you two." He then dragged Wang Xiao out and said, "As an apology, I'll take my brother-in-law out for a walk." Soon Chen Yu brought Wang Xiao to the luxurious footbath city in the city. Wang Xiao couldn't help but frown when he saw the situation. "You brought me to a footbath city?" Chen Yu admitted straightforwardly. "Yes, I wanted to come before, but it was too expensive." As soon as they entered, the waiter immediately whispered to Wang Xiao, "There's a new person who recently joined, super enthusiastic." But Wang Xiao suddenly sighed and said, "Forget it. Tonight is not very convenient. He is my future brother-in-law." The waiter raised an eyebrow and suggested, "He is just a little kid, just give him a few drinks." Upon entering the room, Wang Xiao immediately took out cash, laughing heartily and saying, "Tonight's goal is to make Brother Yu happy. Whoever gets him a drink, I'll give them 1,000. As soon as the words fell, a plump young lady sat down next to Chen Yu and said, "Brother Yu, have a drink from me." Just as Chen Yu was confused, the beauty suddenly turned to Chen Yu and said, "The wine is here." As soon as the words fell, Chen Yu immediately picked up the wine glass and drank it all in one gulp. The system immediately sounded a prompt. Clarity +5, health +2. When Chen Yu started drinking so smoothly, the girl next to him immediately surrounded him and said, "Brother Yu, you can't just drink hers and ignore mine." After drinking a few cups in a row, Chen Yu suddenly laughed and said, Brother-in-law, if the ladies drink a cup, you give 1,000. How much will you give me if I drink a cup? Upon hearing this, Wang Xiao directly threw a stack of banknotes onto the table and said, once you drink it, this 30,000 will be yours. Immediately, Chen Yu drank it all in one gulp, thinking to himself, I've had enough fun, it's time to get drunk. Shortly after, Chen Yu pretended to be drunk and slumped directly on the table, while Wang Xiao couldn't wait and immediately exclaimed, the wonderful night is just beginning. While Wang Xiao began to enjoy himself, a phone had been positioned by Chen Yu, only to see the live broadcast room all white, making numerous netizens' noses bleed non-stop. Soon, the police arrived at the scene and directly took the bewildered Wang Xiao away. The man wanted to solve the problem once and for all. He actually dared to barge into Louis Group alone. Just now, Chen Yu busily spent the night sending Wang Xiao to the police station before hurriedly returning to the store. But as soon as he walked in, he saw Sister Qi sitting at his workstation, smiling lightly and saying, your schooling issue has been sorted out. Upon hearing this, Chen Yu was immediately excited. What? Which school? However, Sister Qi suddenly stretched out her jade foot and teased, first, figure out how to repay me. As soon as these words were spoken, Chen Yu immediately began speculating secretly. Is she implying that I should offer myself to her? He couldn't help but feel more and more excited. Is it possible that heaven is about to come? However, just at that moment, the arrival of the delivery driver interrupted his thoughts. Just as Chen Yu finished counting the goods and was about to return to the store, 3 figures suddenly appeared behind him. After seeing Chen Yu, Xiagaga suddenly whispered, second and third brothers, have you confirmed the target location and target person? It's him, right? Immediately, the Shamate trio walked out from the alley and called out to Chen Yu, who was preparing to return to the store. Upon hearing this, Chen Yu couldn't help but stop in his tracks. Then he looked puzzled and asked, who are you guys? Just as the words fell, 3 little gagas suddenly struck a classic pose and shouted, we are the Shamate team. In the secret realm of 341B, sabotage the plan to kidnap the 8 Desolation girl. Also, they have crippled our brothers. It is simply intolerable to be insulted from head to toe. The golden-haired man on the side suddenly suggested, boss, shall we just go into the cigarette shop and silence them? The red-haired man, however, angrily said, idiot. The boss gave us the order to capture them alive and then break that brat Chen Yu's 3rd leg. Upon hearing this, Chen Yu's face immediately changed drastically. Did you just say you want to castrate me? But the Shamate team had no intention to continue talking nonsense. The 3 of them moved their feet and immediately charged towards Chen Yu. But Chen Yu remained calm and unfazed. With a left front kick, a right whip kick, and finally a left jab, he directly ended the fight. Seeing this scene, the red-haired man immediately panicked. He was able to make the 2nd and 3rd tier 1 martial artists die on the spot in just 2 moves. What level martial artist are you after all? We have no enmity with you, why target us? Chen Yu immediately rubbed his hands in disdain and said, oh, so if you can't win, you resort to tattling like a villain? This question should be directed at you. What is your purpose in looking for me? A tier 8 martial artist. The red-haired man couldn't help but be secretly shocked at the words. So you are a tier 8 martial artist. No wonder the organization is in such a hurry to deal with him. He immediately spoke up saying, we just want to invite you back. There are some matters that we need to discuss and cooperate with you. But the next moment, the red-haired man suddenly reacted and cursed. No way, where did the tier 8 martial artist come from? You scoundrel, you must be trying to deceive me. When you're out there, the most important thing is loyalty. Even if I die today by your hand, I won't betray my boss in any way. Under Chen Yu's violent threats, the red-haired man quickly changed his tune. We, the Louis Group, are one of the shareholders of the 341B Azure City portal. You disrupted our plan to capture the daughter of the 8 Desolations family in the Hidden Realm and also injured our people, which is why we targeted you. Chen Yu frowned slightly when he realized he had provoked a big corporation. So, you and those 3 guys are in cahoots. It's surprising that your Louis Group, a renowned company, is involved in such shady activities behind the scenes. The red-haired man immediately spoke with confidence. You'd better come with me to Louis Group obediently. Otherwise, they won't let you off easily. Even if you can protect yourself, you don't want anything to happen to your family, right? With the power of our group, making your family of 3 disappear from this world is as easy as pie. At the mention of this, Chen Yu's expression suddenly changed. He suddenly realized the seriousness of the situation. Soon after, the police officers at the police station suddenly shouted, Captain, something's wrong outside. Quick, come and see outside. I saw that the 3 members of the Shamate team had already been stripped naked and securely tied to the electric pole. And the recording device above kept playing everything the man with red hair had just said. After Chen Yu dealt with the Shamate team, she couldn't help but feel a sense of crisis. She didn't expect to get into such big trouble. After arriving at Kiryu pawn shop, Chen Yu secretly made a decision. She thought, anyone who dares to threaten my family, the Louis group, must be eradicated. Action must be taken. I'll use the money I plundered from the secret realm attack on the 8 desolations to purchase some weapons, plus the tens of thousands of yuan that my older sister's bald boyfriend gave me. When the boss saw Chen Yu so young, he couldn't help but furrow his brow slightly and said, "Welcome, do you need to pawn or purchase items, sir?" Chen Yu, who was well prepared, immediately took out a list and asked, "Do you have these items that I need?" The boss couldn't help but be amazed after looking at Chen Yu's list. "These things you want are all powerful items. No need to ask if they have it, as long as you've got the cash we can get it done in our black market." The scene changed to inside Louis building, where Xiao Gag reported respectfully, "Boss, the 3 martial artists we sent out to capture the target have been taken to the police station today." After hearing this, the man in glasses couldn't help but express disgust, saying, "I got it. I will take care of it since I have my people on the police side." After saying that, the man in glasses suddenly spoke in a cold tone. "All useless freeloaders. Can't even handle a high school student." Following that, the man in glasses spoke again. "Contact the Tier 2 martial artist mercenary killer to send his whole family to the Western Heaven." After the man in glasses arranged everything, Gaga on the side respectfully presented a bottle of red wine and said, "Boss, the rare wine has been decanted. Please enjoy it slowly." Looking at the glass of superb red wine, the man in glasses suddenly smiled. It was fragrant and mellow, truly deserving of being a top-notch wine. "It is really irresistible. Just a little punk, daring to obstruct our plan and go against both the daughter of the 8 Desolations family and the Louis group halfway. I will skin him alive." The next second, the bespectacled man who had just taken a sip of red wine suddenly forcefully spurted it out. Right after that, he angrily interrogated, "What is this? How come there is a smell of urine?" Xiaogaga hurriedly explained, "It's impossible. This is a premium red wine that was just uncorked and allowed to breathe today. How could this happen?" Upon hearing this, the man in glasses immediately smashed the wine decanter onto Xiaogaga's head and scolded, "Idiot! Did the purchasing department buy fake wine and falsify accounts? Quickly investigate for me." However, just as Xiaogaga was about to leave, the front door was suddenly kicked in violently. At this sight, everyone was stunned. They never expected that someone would dare to barge in like this. And Chen Yu, who was already fully armed, slowly entered from outside the door and sneered, "How does it taste? This old man's infant urine has a rich fragrance and tempting taste, isn't it?" The man just casually threw a model of a hand grenade. Actually scared the boss of Louis group to peeing. Just now, Chen Yu entered Louis group alone. The man in glasses immediately frowned when he saw Chen Yu. "A little rookie who has just come of age dared to mess with me today, and now he is here at my doorstep." Chen Yu raised an eyebrow and smiled lightly, saying, "Aren't you here to look for me? Here I am." Later, Chen Yu suddenly smirked and said slyly, "Want to know if my piss is good to drink?" When this was said, the man with glasses was immediately enraged. "Damn it! You bastard actually mixed piss in such high-quality wine." Immediately, the man with glasses waved his hand and ordered, "Get him! Skin him alive!" Soon his henchmen surrounded Chen Yu. Chen Yu, who was well prepared, remained calm and composed. He suddenly took out a bottle of spray and began to spray it around. Instantly a strong odor burst out. "My eyes!" Seeing this scene, the man in glasses couldn't help but grit his teeth and say, "Wolf repellent spray. Just with this pretend play trick, you dare to come alone." And he was holding a high-concentration chili pepper spray worth $5,000. Chen Yu, who sprayed mustard mixed with spray, suddenly grinned and said, "This is not for rewarding you guys." Just as he finished speaking, Chen Yu took the spray and sprayed it fiercely on his own face. The next moment, a whole bottle of spray was already used up by him. He instantly gained a 90% increase in dynamic visual acuity. When Chen Yu behaved so insanely, Glasses Guy immediately exploded. Could this guy have a problem with his head? The others, hurry up and take him down. As soon as the words fell, several little assistants immediately surrounded Chen Yu again. Chen Yu, who had improved his vision, kept dodging and striking among the crowd, and the little assistants couldn't even touch him. Even if the little assistants sandwiched Chen Yu from the front and the back, he could deal with it calmly. He fought without any resistance from the opponent. When he saw Chen Yu fighting so well, The guy with glasses was immediately stunned. These are personal bodyguards who are tier 1 martial artists for everyone, yet they were taken down in an instant. Immediately, the man with glasses couldn't believe it and said, "Who are you exactly? You can't be just a high school student, it's not that simple." And Chen Yu, who easily dealt with Sayagaga, casually replied, "You answered the question quite well. I am a good person while you are a bad person." As soon as the words fell, Chen Yu abruptly drew the long sword behind him and flew towards the man with glasses for a direct attack. But just as Chen Yu was about to strike, a fist suddenly pounded fiercely and smashed into his face. The attack was interrupted, and Chen Yu couldn't help but feel angry. When the man with glasses saw his savior coming, he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. "Great, you finally arrived. The money spent was worth it." As a tier 3 martial artist, Chris intercepted Chen Yu and indifferently said, "Boss, I'm sorry for the delayed rescue. Kid, don't get too arrogant." Chen Yu then leaped into the air directly and said coldly, "Where did the 300-pound white-skinned pig come from? Watch as I cut you into pieces for barbecue." Chris, on the other hand, stood still and directly used the martial skill Fateful Opponent. Countless palm shadows condensed from force chi kept streaming out and bombarding Chen Yu. Immediately after that, Chris suddenly grabbed the Chen Yu who was suspended in midair. He once again used the martial skill gravity backdrop to slam him directly onto the ground. Seeing Chen Yu being beaten down, the man in glasses immediately got excited. "Well done. Chris will definitely get a big bonus this year." Chris, on the other hand, smiled faintly and said, "My force chi agility, strength, and reaction time are all over the place." Later, Chris sneered condescendingly, "For you to come alone at this level to Louis Group, you're really a fool." Chen Yu suddenly stood up abruptly and raised his long sword, intending to sneak attack the man with glasses, but Chris quickly grabbed his weapon. Chris immediately said impassively, "Stop fantasizing. It's good that you thought of the sneak attack, but unfortunately, there is a huge gap between you and me." The man in glasses immediately burst into laughter when he saw it. "Great! Chris, restrain him. Let me take care of him." As soon as the words fell, the man in glasses suddenly pulled out a weapon from his body and aimed directly at Chen Yu's head. But the next second, the man in glasses' face suddenly changed drastically and he stood frozen in place. Seeing this, Chen Yu decisively pulled the pin of the grenade in his hand and solemnly said, "Behave yourself. If you move again, I'll let go. We'll all die together." However, the man with glasses did not think so and said, "Who are you trying to scare? If you dare, then let go." As soon as the words fell, there was a click, and a dazzling light burst from Chen Yu's hand. The two who were blinded by the bright light immediately burst into screams. "Damn it, it's a flash bomb. You brat, I'll tear you apart." At the same time, the system suddenly sounded a reminder. Received strong light damage. Temporary vision increased by 4600. Received sound wave damage. Temporary hearing increased by 2700. Temporary balance increased by 1700. Temporary mental stability increased by 4700. Immediately, Chen Yu rubbed his face and smiled lightly, saying, "It seems that my thoughts were indeed correct." Next, he picked up the long sword and charged towards Chris. At the same time, he sneered and said, "So even a tier 3 martial artist is afraid of flash grenades." Unable to see temporarily, Chris was unable to defend himself in time. Chen Yu's long sword had already chopped towards his vital parts. The next second, the long sword fell suddenly, immediately followed by a sharp sound. It was split in two. Chris immediately burst into a burst of painful wailing. "I dislike it, I don't want to be a girl." Immediately, Chris became extremely angry and headed towards Chen Yu's location and threw a punch. But sharp Chen Yu directly squatted down to dodge the attack. Immediately, Chen Yu decisively threw a punch towards the injured part of Chris again. The next second, the sound of eggs cracking immediately rang out. Severe pain that even a tier 3 martial artist cannot endure. Chris fainted on the spot. The man with glasses immediately started swearing loudly at the scene, calling everyone worthless. He complained about spending so much money to hire a group of useless martial artists as security. At that moment, Chen Yu had already arrived in front of the man with glasses and said coldly, "You want me dead, it's you. You also want to harm my family, that's also you. To prevent future troubles, I have no choice but to get rid of you." As soon as these words were spoken, the man with glasses quickly put on a look of deep regret and tearfully pleaded, "I am the one behind this plan, it has nothing to do with Louis Group. I know I was wrong. I hope to have a chance to turn over a new leaf. I want to be a good person." After listening to the man with glasses crying and pleading, Chen Yu suddenly fell into silence. And then Chen Yu suddenly took back the weapon, turned around without looking back and said, "I hope you can turn over a new leaf and stop doing evil." The man kneeling on the ground kept expressing gratitude on the surface, but deep down he secretly vowed, "Fool, the humiliation I received today must be repaid to you 1,000-fold." Thinking of this, the man in glasses gritted his teeth and whispered through clenched teeth, "Tomorrow, I will take your whole family to feed the dogs." Just then Chen Yu, who had just reached the door, suddenly threw a grenade behind him and said indifferently, "I changed my mind. You can go die now." Seeing the grenade rolling on the ground, the man in glasses panicked and quickly ran away. After arriving at the window, he decisively leaped, attempting to break through the glass to escape. However, what he didn't expect was that he was currently on the 33rd floor. This leap was likely more risky than lucky. Listening to the continuous screams coming from outside the window, Chen Yu couldn't help but secretly complain, "What a fool. With this level of intelligence, how can he be the boss of Louis Group? How could anyone have the guts to kidnap the daughter of the Eight Desolations family? Even my plastic toy grenade model that I bought for $10 is scared. Here it comes, the terrifying army of beasts is actually coming." Just now during dinner, Sister Chi suddenly asked, "There's only 10 days left until the college entrance exam. Have you made progress in improving your abilities? Will you be able to get into university?" Chen Yu, on the other hand, confidently stated, "With my abilities, becoming the top scorer in the exam should not be a problem." Sister Chi couldn't help but chuckle at these words and raised an eyebrow, saying, "Let's make a bet. If you can pass the imperial examination, I will help you advance into manhood." Upon hearing this, Chen Yu immediately became excited and exclaimed, "Heaven is above. I never gamble. It is against my principles." At the same time, in the wilderness outside the city, several mystical beasts were facing a heavily blocked cave and roaring non-stop. Xingbai, trapped inside, suddenly spoke, "The mystical beasts have gathered. In a maximum of 10 hours, Azure City will be submerged by the beast tide. We must quickly bring this news back." Jinmao Xiaogaga couldn't help but show an unpleasant expression and said, "How am I supposed to bring the message back to you?" Xingbai gritted his teeth and replied, "Isn't one person enough to deliver the message?" Upon hearing this, Xiaogaga immediately became anxious. "What do you mean? Do you want me to run away carrying you on my back?" Xingbai replied indifferently, "Now that we have confirmed the beast tide's appearance, spreading the message is the most important thing." Following that, Xingbai immediately leaned on the golden-haired man's shoulder and coldly said, "Isn't the ultimate fate of a martial artist to die in battle?" She sneaked and attached a green piece of paper to the golden-haired man. Xingbai then spoke again, "Right now, you are only decreasing my success rate of breaking through." Upon hearing this, the golden-haired man immediately let out a despairing roar. "Get lost. Run for your life." Seeing that the golden-haired man was willing to stay, Xingbai grinned and said, "Humans will remember your sacrifice." Immediately following that, Xingbai gathered force chi and suddenly soared into the sky, destroying the rock layers and fleeing towards the city at high speed. At the moment Xingbai appeared, the mystical beasts surrounding the cave immediately began to roar. The beasts rushed towards her in a frenzy. However, at that moment, a burst of green light suddenly emerged from inside the cave. The surrounding mystical beasts were immediately attracted by the green light. Looking at the paper behind him that kept emitting green light, the golden-haired man couldn't help but have his pupils shrink. "Bait. She actually used me as bait." In the blink of an eye, a group of mystical beasts swarmed into the cave. Xingbai, who escaped smoothly as a result, smirked coldly. "Tens of thousands of citizens in Azure City thank you for your contribution." At the same time, an emergency meeting has been convened in the government building of Azure City. The person in charge immediately spoke after gathering the personnel, saying that Xingbai, a top student at Capital University and a national key cultivated talent, the pride of the nation, has inexplicably disappeared with his team in Azure City. He immediately took responsibility and angrily said, "It's been 4 days. We should have found them even if we have to dig 3 feet underground." Meanwhile, Xiao Gaga's expression looked grim as he mentioned that the signal of Xingbai's team disappeared in a dangerous area, indicating that the situation is probably more bad than good. However, just at that moment, the door of the meeting room was suddenly pushed open forcefully. I saw Xingbai covered in bruises and bloodstains. She appeared in front of everyone in a sorry state. Seeing Xingbai, it was obvious that she had barely made it back alive. The person in charge was immediately agitated and asked, "Where have you been? How did it end up like this?" Xingbai, on the other hand, smoothed her hair and calmly said, "Our squad's reconnaissance mission was to investigate the mystical beast outside the city. Apart from me, the other 3 members all sacrificed their lives." Later, Xingbai squeezed out the dirty water from her hair and spoke again. The beast tide is coming, and this time their target is Azure City. With these words, the leader immediately panicked. Our Xingbai team ventured into the danger zone and obtained valuable information about the scale, direction of movement, speed, strength distribution, racial composition, and other information about the beast tide. While Xingbai walked up to the leader and said indifferently, "Sound the citywide air defense alarm. Get ready to fight for our lives." The man resolutely chooses to join the military to fight against the beast tide in order to protect his family. Just now, Xingbai escaped from the wilderness and brought back intelligence about the impending beast tide attack. After Xingbai reported the intelligence about the beast tide, the air raid sirens immediately sounded within the city. Sister Qi knows that when the beast tide appears, there will inevitably be a large number of casualties. She immediately grabbed Chen Yu and started running outside. But all the main roads are blocked and screams can be heard. Please everyone stay at home. Priority for evacuation goes to minors and pregnant women. Chen Yu couldn't help but shudder at the scene. Is this the cruel self-rescue method that humans have come up with to deal with the beast tide? For a moment, cries and shouts filled the entire city. Children were forced to be separated from their parents and enter the shelter. All martial artists of Tier 1 and above were called up and gathered at the East City Wall. Sister Qi quickly stuffed Chen Yu into a taxi and asked the driver to drop him off at the student shelter on the way. Chen Yu immediately asked, "Where are you going?" Sister Qi did not even turn her head and replied, "East City Wall." Sister Qi ran towards the East City Wall against the crowd. Even if facing a beast tide meant certain death for a Tier 1 martial artist, she still had to go and join the resistance. Soon, Chen Yu took a taxi with the little girl and arrived at the shelter in Azure City. After the two got off the car, the driver quickly reminded, "Only if you both survive will it make sense for the protection of martial artists. Please be sure not to do anything foolish." Chen Yu quickly called his mother. "Mom, I have arrived at the evacuation point. Did the police say when they will arrange for you to start evacuating?" That moment, suddenly, someone threw a backpack at Chen Yu, interrupting him. Shortly after, Chan Siwen with arms crossed asked, "You're not at home packing up to evacuate. Why are you here?" Shortly after, Chan Siwen paused and spoke again. "Oh, I also kept the passbook at home in the bag. I brought some daily necessities for you. You can use them when you evacuate." Just as Chen Yu was about to speak, Chan Siwen suddenly hugged him and said, "Idiot, the beast tide is coming. There is simply no time for the second batch of evacuees. Reality is cruel. You must survive." After saying that, Chan Siwen suddenly burst into tears and said reassuringly, "My mom is still waiting at home. I have to hurry back." Watching Chan Siwen's figure as she departed, Chen Yu couldn't help but think to himself, "Should I let my family stay behind and wait to die while I evacuate alone?" Suddenly, Chen Yu recalled the bits and pieces of these days. Immediately, Chen Yu rushed towards the East City district while silently thinking in his heart, "Without family, what's the point of living? This city must not be broken. Absolutely cannot be broken." Soon, Chen Yu arrived at the East City Gate, where the commander was loudly announcing, "All Tier 1 and above martial artists, your names are all registered. Those who attempt to flee from the battle will be executed on the spot." At this statement, the crowd of martial artists suddenly looked at each other. Chen Yu couldn't help but murmur to himself, "It turns out not everyone is prepared to face death." When Chen Yu saw the female martial artists being escorted, he couldn't help but sigh. The instinct to be greedy for life and afraid of death is human nature. The girl in pink raised her eyebrows in annoyance at the sound and said angrily, "What are you talking about? Fighting against mystical beasts on the front line as a martial artist is simply asking for death." Then she suddenly unleashed the force qi within her body. She sent the soldiers escorting her flying with a shockwave. At the next moment, the pink-haired woman, freed from restraints, raised her hand and aimed a dagger towards Chen Yu's abdomen. With a sudden swing, she coldly said, "Since we're all going to die anyway, I'll kill you first." With the help of the system's enhancement, Chen Yu only sustained minor injuries. The pink-haired woman was shocked. How is this possible? The poison on the dagger is even deadly to a Tier 2 mystical beast. Subsequently, Chen Yu swiftly launched a series of continuous attacks. The woman with pink hair expressed her anger, saying, "You only bully the weak with your strength, it disgusts me." The pink-haired girl who was beaten down immediately retorted, "I just want to live, is that wrong?" Chen Yu, on the other hand, condescendingly said, "Those people in the city who are waiting to die at home